Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another show. I am a little tired today, so it might be a shorter one, but depending on the audience, it might go as an hour or more as intended. I'm actually feeling a bit talkative, weirdly sentimental. I am about to enter my last full month in Chicago. I'm going to move back to California, so I'm I'm getting sentimental. I'm thinking a lot about what my life in Chicago has been. Sub Brian, sub YouTuber. For those of you just joining, I'm getting a little sad about leaving Chicago. About to enter my full last month tomorrow, month of July. So it's a weird thought. It's a weird feeling to leave a place that I've been tied to for 2 years. Weirdly loosely tied, given the Corona pandemic. I've been all over, but oh, he's so Lee. Nah, dude, I'm sad. I mean, I know SoCal's great and you're there, but Southern California is sad. YouTuber asks, how's the new startup job? Would you ever work in P or VC? I don't know about P, but VC, yeah. I'm definitely open to venture capital. I think having a investment banking background with startup experience probably aligns very well with VC. I think investing in startups would be fun, but I don't know if that's a near-term thing. I also know that recruiting for VC is quite hard. It's very based on networking as opposed to direct applications. There's not like open venture capital applications online, which makes it a little harder. But definitely open to VC opportunities in the future. I know the title says, are stocks ever going to come down? And I'll talk about that eventually, but I'm still stuck in this sad mentality over Chicago right now. I was just like walking the Magnificent Mile on the Riverwalk today, and I was thinking like, damn, like this place is beautiful. What am I going to do? I'm like, SoCal's cool. My family's there. My friends are there. I have a bigger, I think, audience base there in terms of like people that I can hang out with. But there's something about the city that just captures well, and something about cities in general that I think you can only do when you're young, in the best way. And the fact that I am no longer going to be here really saddens me. And I think no city is like as accessible and clean as Chicago. My video this Saturday actually talks about Chicago being so great, and I hope you guys tune in for that. Do anything for this fun for the summer? I guess this is the summer. I've been doing so much stuff since April, nonstop. I've been traveling, hanging out with friends. People have been visiting me. I've been visiting them. I've been in North Carolina. I've been back in California. I went to New York. I've been in Chicago. My family and I are planning a pretty long trip, possibly in Lake Tahoe or Hawaii. So lots of fun plans. I think summer is going to go by like a breeze, and I am really excited for it. Everyone is super excited for this summer because the last summer sucked. So I think it's going to be a great summer. Do you own Coinbase stock? They have an impressive balance sheet. Is Coinbase a public company? I don't think so. I have Coinbase, and I don't think they're a public stock. Very mixed on crypto, but I think Coinbase is a great application. I've seen it being used, but Coinbase is public. Really? Coinbase. Or about the cough, guys. It's not COVID. Oh, Coinbase is. Wow, Coinbase is public? Huh. Yeah, it's only been going down since IPO, and they IPO'd. Oh, they IPO'd like 3 months ago in April. No one doesn't know. I'm not gonna recommend it or unrecommend it for anyone because I just don't know. I didn't even know it was public until right now. But I mean, their entire thing is based on crypto, right? And it's a crypto exchange platform. But I wonder if the moment crypto becomes an official currency, would they need a stock exchange? Like, I guess it would kind of function as like a foreign exchange, forex change because you're trading crypto. But I don't know how that would function because right now most of Coinbase is functioning on people day trading and riding the wave and making money off cryptocurrency as opposed to using crypto for actual transactions. But I'm sure they have other things in mind. They're remote first. They don't have a physical headquarters. That's wild. In college is the best way to learn just to memorize flashcards and do practice questions. Golden 2010 boy, I assume you just mean in general for homework and stuff. I'm not a big fan of flashcards. I was more of just like a write down everything that I know and redo questions type of person. I was also not the best student in college, so don't listen to me. But if you're memorizing terms, of course, I think flashcards is the default way to go. But I was never a flashcard person. Um, Daniel, super recent. Yeah. I didn't realize that the Coinbase IPO was literally 3 minutes ago. I wonder if it was a spec. I'm shocked. I didn't know it was public. Headquartered in Delaware. Shocker. Pull up their profit. It's insane. I mean, just off the commissions, right? They're probably making insane amounts of money. Yeah, I mean, their PE ratio is 108. Their revenue's up by 844%. Net income's up 2,312%. Jesus. Coinbase. But how long is that going to go? Is that like a momentarily thing because everyone was trading crypto the past 3 months, or are they going to continue to do this well? I think that's a very temporary question. But if they can continue it, why not? But I'm still skeptical on crypto personally. Have you seen any non-native English speakers in IB? Yeah. Fun fact: I am not a non-native English speaker. If by what you mean is whether or not someone's first language is English, that's not me. But in the traditional sense of people that aren't overly fully comfortable in English, I've seen people in IB that aren't like native. They're fluent though. Bitcoin hit its all-time high during Coinbase IPO. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think so much of this might be a temporary thing. I don't know if Coinbase is going to continue 2,000% growth quarter over quarter. But it does show that there is a market for it. It's just, I don't know if the demand will sustain itself for very long. Will inflation be long-term? Under the current administration, probably. It seems like their ultimate motive is to just inflate. I don't know how sustainable that is. I don't know what the Fed is actually thinking, but it seems like inflation is relatively here to stay. For those of you joining, I'm taking less of a question and answer approach, and people are asking very fascinating questions today. I like this. Also, something that I want you guys to be aware of. I just talked to my roommate about this. Is something that I really want to try on the side as I move back to LA is some form of stand-up comedy or engaging with the audience live. I think it would have to come in the form of me taking improv classes or going to bars or clubs and trying out stand-up. But that's probably one of the main reasons why I'm doing this live chat is to, one, interact with you guys and understand what people are thinking. I think I'm really trying to get a grasp through the career consulting sessions and through live to see what people are in demand of, what people are curious about, so that I can expand my services and my presence. But more importantly, I'm trying to get a practice in for public speaking. How do you develop such a likable personality? Burritos Tacos, I think, surprisingly, one, know that this thing that I'm presenting on the YouTubes is a persona. I'm obviously not 24/7 like this. There are people in real life that probably hate me. I know for a fact there are people that hate me. I do think that I'm a very hot or very cold person, as in I don't think anyone thinks of me as a lukewarm individual. People either hate me or people love me. I don't know if I have a likable personality. I think I have an interesting personality. Just take it with a grain of salt that I am definitely putting on a persona, whether I know it or not, on this platform. So don't think of me as this like super likable guy. You might not like me if you meet me in real person. What's up, Brian? How does one develop the investor mindset? Looking at transition into PE, Jerry. I think investor mindset and PE are a little different. I think PE mindset is slightly more financial engineering and looking for assets that have strong management teams, good market value, great competitive nature. There's different things that make an asset a good stock investment versus a real estate investment versus a PE investment versus a VC investment. And I think a lot of that comes from having the IB mindset and having sell side experience, which allows you to see what assets are valuable, what assets that PE ventures like, and then you go to the buy side, which is why people go from IB to PE. I wouldn't say that I have the best investor mindset in terms of stock trading or anything like that, but I think my year and 8 months in banking definitely did give me somewhat of a business understanding of what makes a business asset valuable. If you would call that a investor mindset. CoinGates go brr. If crypto long term is correct, then they're good. What's the most interesting aspect of the work at your? Yeah, I mean, obviously, if crypto long term is great, then Coinbase is set. But like, will it be long term? I don't know. Most interesting aspect of the work at your new startup gig, I would say the fact that things are constantly changing. I think that's both the pro and the con. Con in the sense that there's always adjustments to be made, but pro in the sense that like you're always trying new things and gaining new skill sets all the time. I don't know if that's for me just yet, but I'm still in the first 6 month period where I'm understanding what the field is like. Tech is a whole new beast. Do you know what IBs are the best to work for when you're looking at hours and work-life balance? YouTuber, I think the bad cop-out answer would be none of the above. I don't think there's any investment bank that is nice. All investment banks are thoroughly great. I think if you're going for the full experience, you might as well go for the experience that has the intensity that it deserves. After every recession, there has been an expansion phase. Why is the market overlooking this? A fifth commodity super cycle will be huge, but the last one was fueled by China's large-scale growth. Whoa, Austin, I don't think I'm smart enough to answer that question. But I the expansion is happening right now, right? There was a slight recession for like 5 months last year, then now it's just booming. Dry powder's through the air. PE is investing like crazy. There's M&A transactions happening everywhere. There's more retail investors in stock than ever. Real estate is hyperinflating. I think there is a issue with employment and people not wanting to work, and hyperinflation of minimum wage and wage expectations by people. So there's like this weird imbalance between what employers want versus what employees want, which has always been the case, but I think there's an even more inflation with that. I don't know if I would call it an expansion, but long story short, I am not smart enough to answer your question, Austin. Hi, Brian. Hey, watch Meet Kevin. He's located around LA area, does all his YouTube video in a live stream format, and just turns into YouTube videos. I think he makes $6 million a year just on YouTube. Jeez. I'll definitely check out Meet Kevin. I think the whole like do YouTube live stream or live stream in general and then turn it into YouTube content is like the smartest way ever. People do that all the time and make tons of money. Who knows if I have the talent for that, but I think the live stream way is great. I'm very about the interactiveness. It gives me stress to think about like, what am I going to talk about this week? Make the video and then like watch the video go. This is a lot more fun. I don't care if there's 3 people watching. Interaction is always more fun than making video and then just posting it. So I understand why people do it. Value versus growth stocks going further. After decades of growth stocks being on top, and now recently value performing better. What's your opinion going further? I always sided with long-term value, and then if you can day trade or ride the waves per se, obviously go for the growth stock. There's plenty of stocks that have always been, and especially during COVID, I think even post-COVID, whatever that means, that ride up like 10-30% a day. And if you can continuously ride that perfectly, then you can make money. The reality is you probably can't ride that perfectly every time, but if you can, then you have found a way for unlimited money. Would you go back to IB given the change in culture and salary increase? Yeah, I've kind of heard that culture is changing. Salary has always been increasing, and there's always a push to increase salary. I've considered, and I'm continuously considering, perhaps a return to banking. Maybe not in the near-term future, but maybe longer term if my like startup work doesn't pan out, or if I miss the professional services, or if I have a family to take care of. I do think that if I were to make a jump back into analyst, then I would probably have to do it relatively sooner. And if I have to make a jump to associate, then I probably have to take the MBA route. It's definitely not off the table, but maybe not my near-term priority. But always considering. What's your funniest joke? Burritos Taco. You're asking me the hard questions. What's my funniest joke? I'm more of a storyteller, funny person rather than like a joke person. I don't really have like off the top of my mind funny jokes. I can tell funny stories all the time. Tech is the move. I think we get maybe best work-life balance, compensation, interesting and meaningful problems stay in tech. Yeah, I think tech definitely has phenomenal work-life balance. Compensation is phenomenal. Interesting and meaningful problems for sure. I also don't know how long it's going to take. All industries mature after a while, and tech is definitely somewhat approaching maturity. And at that point, you move away from product and sales, and it slowly starts entering the businessy people need to come in and understand how to scale phase. And I think that's kind of the phase we're slowly entering, which is why you're seeing a lot of big tech people hiring strategy and ops as opposed to loosening on product and sales, because there's already a lot of that, and now they need scale to grow. But Daniel, to your point, I think in terms of work-life balance and meaningful problems, for sure, I think professional services definitely lacks in that. But it's more about stability. Like I mean, I can stay in the startup world, I can stay in the tech world all I want in my 20s, but if I hit my 30s and I'm not really doing my own thing or at a higher position, then I have to face reality, right? And I think it's important to be realistic and then let go of your pride and say like, yo, if like banking sucked before, but now like banking rocks, there's a reason why people go back through associate, the MBA route, and I think that's definitely never off the table. It would be funny after this to do it, but that's what I'm doing. Sorry, funny people are replying to my bad Instagram story. Why do banks think salary increase will help the culture? I mean, I don't think people think salary increase will help the culture. I think they think it's going to make up for the lack of work life balance. And I think there is a tipping point slash like a fine line where you hit between compensation and work life slash culture. Where if you get paid enough, like you can, it's one of those things where you suck it up. Like things will suck, things will suck. The paycheck will hit, and you're like, you know what? I can last 2 weeks longer. And then things will suck, things will suck. The paycheck will hit, and you're like, I can do this 2 weeks longer. That's what banking is. That's what high paying jobs are. I mean, high paying jobs are high paying for a reason, and I think it's that ability to push right back the moment the money hits the account. You're like, you know what, this is worth the stress that I am going through. Thoughts on REP? Loma, can you expand? Is it bad that I don't know what REP is? Is it real estate private equity? I don't know much about real estate private equity. I know generally about private equity, but I know nothing about real estate private equity. Sorry. So many young cause, even series A, B, ETs that are far from that strategy. Yeah. I mean, there's always new companies in the tech sphere that I think are away from that strategy phase that you could always enter, and it's really fun to do. But like, I'm not a software engineer. I'm not a salesperson, so I think it's hard to enter those phases. It'd be interesting to learn those skills. I think what's sad is that I wish there was like a career program at these big tech whatever that hired people that are just capable in general, ran them through every position at a tech firm, so sales, product, software engineering, strategy, biz dev, whatever, and then it's like a full rotational. They train you, whatever, and they give you a long-term career in what you're good at. I bet that would pay off so well. One of the reasons why people don't do well in careers is one, because they're scared that there's no upward mobility and long-term gains from staying at that company, and two, they're not doing the thing they're actually good at because of the initial job that they took in the beginning. What do you think of all this inflation? I think it's terrible. I think we're doomed. Jokes aside, I don't know where we're headed. I mean, obviously, the Fed is doing stuff. Gas prices are crazy. Minimum wage is skyrocketing. People don't want to work. There's just so many different issues that are contributing directly to inflation. I think people really don't understand that if things cost more, they need to make more, and if we get paid more, things are going to cost more. Like it's like economics 101. Are clubs needed for IB? Burrito Talkers, do you mean like clubs as in like school clubs? For sure. In the real estate bubble, hairdressers were leaving their jobs to sell real estate. Do you consider the speculation of cryptocurrency? Also, that's a great question. I don't know if I would consider cryptocurrency, but I think people leaving jobs to be day traders, and I'm seeing like college kids take semesters off and use their unemployment checks to be day traders. That's concerning to me. That's the equivalence of, I think, hairdressers leaving jobs to sell real estate. And it's this like weird phase of like people thinking anyone can day trade and everyone can make money off stock, and based off like 2 Wall Street Bets posts of like one guy making $40,000 off one trade, and you're like, yo, if that dumbass can do it, I can do it. I think it's luck, it's population bias, it's confirmation bias. There's far less examples of that than you think. I think that's concerning to me. You should check out Operators by Delian. He's at the Founders Fund. It's a podcast. He's had many operators on startups with non-engineering backgrounds. Oh, that's dope. I will actually for sure check that out. I'm going to take a picture of that. I love things like that. Thanks, Daniel. I love that recommendation. People, if you have recommendations, please let me know. Fun fact, me and my friend are planning a podcast. We're kicking off our planning meeting on Friday. And once I'm back in fully Southern California, we're going to start launching those. I think a podcast format will be great. I love talking. I think I'm going to start having guests in the future, but look forward to them podcasts. Yeah, Daniel, thank you. Any thoughts on asset management careers, such as working at TRO and Vanguard? I mean, they're both like household names. I don't know many people in asset management specifically, but I've heard it's a good job. Relatively good work-life balance. It's financial. You're probably going to make a lot of money in the long run if you do well. Do you have any cool things you collect? Ooh, I used to collect quarters when I was young. Not anymore. I used to collect baseball cards. Not anymore. I used to collect Legos. Not anymore. I kind of collect golf balls a little bit, but just like for playing purposes. I wouldn't say like I'm like a collector by any means. Outside of that, like I don't collect clothes, I don't collect shoes or anything. I'm not much of a stuff person. I don't really buy stuff in general. Any significant shifts in your investment portfolio from the time you made your video to now? Yes, I got out of Snowflake. I got out of actually it'd be easier to just say like what I'm in right now. So since the release of that video, I have decreased my portfolio only to Apple, Airbnb, Fiverr, Tesla, United Airlines, and a stock called the Trade Desk, which has done very well since its stock split. Thoughts on credit analyst rules? David, I'm sorry, I know nothing about credit analyst rules. How many ties do you have? Coolest pattern? Ooh, Motivational Insights asking some cool questions. I have probably like 6 to 10 ties. The coolest tie I probably have is a pink one from my school, made by Vineyard Vines. It just has excuse me. It has George Washington and our other namesake Robert E. Lee on it, which I find cool. United Airlines, yeah. I bought United Airlines at pretty near bottom, and it's one of my best done stocks. I just have an inherent belief that they'll always bail out the banks, and they'll always bail out the banks too, but they'll always bail out airlines, and it's going to do well. I've been told corporate banking than MBA can be lucrative over IB because of the exposure to more industries before MBA. Thoughts? Yeah, I've seen people do that. I mean, obviously take the direct IB route if you can do it. But if you're stuck in corporate banking but you want IB, then MBA is the best route. I've seen many people do exactly to the dot what you just said. What do you think about the worth of gold currently? I know nothing about the worth of gold. I did hear from a trader that there has been a drastic shift between the balance of retail versus professional asset holders in gold, and a lot of gold is held by retail investors now. You got Corona. Fair. What do you think about TikTok? Would you become an influencer there? So I made a TikTok during the peak of COVID just because I was so bored. I made a couple TikToks, which is completely a joke. I put zero thought into them. I just made it literally for fun. I think I deleted the TikTok. I think the council alive. I deleted all the TikToks. I don't think I'm young enough for TikTok. I don't think I'm someone that's suitable for TikTok humor. I'm someone that has more conversational, old school fun. Maybe everyone's attention span is so small now that TikTok is really the way to go, and it's easier for virality. But I am not a TikTok person. I never got addicted to TikTok, thankfully. But I don't think I have any thoughts about becoming an influencer on that space. I don't even consider myself an influencer now. This is just a part of my social media assets, I think. Sorry, people are rapidly hitting me up on Instagram. What are some? I'm not saying this just for the live stream, but I was very strict in my business expenses for being a YouTuber. I only expensed like the mic, the ring light, and the camera stuff that I bought, which was literally just for YouTube. So I didn't do any. I'm too scared. I'm too much of a chicken to do that kind of like gray area business expense stuff. What music do you listen to? Burrito Tacos. I listen to anything and everything. I'm more a mainstream person. Let's just do this. What's up at the top of my library listen now right now? I have Tyler the Creator's new Call Me If You Get Lost album. I have Cheesin' by Cautious Clay, Remy Wolf, and Sophie Myers. I have Culture 3 by Amigos. And I also have Peaches Remix by Justin Bieber. So there you get a sense of how broad and how mainstream my music taste is. TikTok's algorithm is dangerous. Yeah, TikTok's algorithm is very dangerous. People have actually sent me TikToks that I've been featured in as like a finance investment banking YouTuber, but I have never been addicted to TikTok or have considered being a full-time Instagram or TikTok influencer there. People want a virtual tour of Chicago. That's funny. Got an offer from a big bank in private wealth. Hell yeah, Jeffy Daniel. What do you think the best way to transfer to IB? Stick around, like gain the right exposure, learn the company culture, and then maybe find ways to transfer over. They sometimes have internal hires that go from one division to the next. So I would look into that. Thoughts on accounting? I was an accounting major. I would never do it for a job. I don't know why anyone becomes an accountant. Actually, I know why people become accountants, but it sounds horrible. Like I don't know why you would do that for that pay. I think there's plenty of other jobs that you put in similar amounts of effort and make more, or put in less amounts of effort, but it's more interesting. Which broker do you use for short, long-term investing? I use Fidelity. I am majority, if not all, on Fidelity outside of my Roth IRA, which is hosted on Vanguard. Any stocks you would short currently? As a proponent for in-person office work, Zoom, but I would be shocked if it goes down. I also would short Coinbase, honestly. Because I don't really feel great about crypto as a whole, but I know that people would get mad at that. Those two are my two hot takes. Any more interviews on your channel? I like the interview with the soccer player. Oh, Jerry, thanks for liking the interview. Yeah, no, there's definitely interviews coming up. I have one interview scheduled when I come back to California of a person who is pursuing banking but is no longer and is pursuing music full time. And then I have a couple others that I think you guys will find interesting. I just need to be more settled and be in a place where I can host people. I think I know many more people, many more interesting people in California. So more interviews are definitely coming. I think they'll come in a podcast setting, but they're coming. What stock do you think is hella undervalued, but it's too risky to short? I don't know the stock market very well. Fun fact: hella undervalued. Nintendo. I think Nintendo's undervalued. Your opinion on hedge funds in terms of morality? I mean, that's a hard question, Travis. I think everything has issues, right? Morality is a hard term depending on what you believe in, what your sets on ethics are. Everything is immoral, everything's unethical in a certain angle. If you can make money, why not do it? And if I guess it depends on the intent, the end intent of what you make money off of from the hedge fund. Me and a couple other friends have begun and actively try to scale a fund of our own. I don't think we're being immoral in what we're doing, and we have plans to use it in nicer ways. But I think that's a person by person, fund by fund question. How do you deal with the office politics at a startup? I haven't really dealt with much office politics, especially given that I've never really been in person except once. Like literally, there's no politics because I haven't been in the office and I don't really feel it. I mean, there's definitely like unspoken things that every company has, but I haven't really dealt with that specifically. Is it easier to join IB as an MBA associate? Depends on what you mean by easy. I think it's hard at all levels, but I do think that as an MBA associate, it's easier in the sense that you know you want to do banking for sure, and there's less of an opportunity cost of like you wanting to hang out and spend your 20s, not in front of a computer. So many different paths. Yeah. Oh wait, how'd your perspective on career goals change post graduation? Maybe first few months in banking. I'm a new grad. We can do so many different paths. Yeah, I mean, I think like post grad, I knew I was going to do banking since fall of junior year. So career paths didn't cross my mind since then, which was I think a trap. I wish I spent more time. That's a trap that banking does to kids. I wish I spent the majority of college, all 4 years, considering what I really wanted to do, exploring jobs, as opposed to being stuck in this banking route and almost wasting the later half of my college career, not really thinking about who I was and what I wanted to do. I think that was a trap, and I think I was delayed in that and did that post college, which I'm happy that I did it now, but I wish I did it during college. Right now, I still don't really understand what I want to do. I think there's still one crazy job shift left in me that I think I owe it to myself. But bottom line, I think the concern is I still don't know what I want to do. If you can, would appreciate an interview with your friend working at the Fed. Oh, with Will. Yeah, the next time I'm in New York, which is in September, I'll try to record one with the guy with the Fed. Did you ever jewel? I did not. I am not one for those kind of things. But how prevalent was that? I would say like 30% of my floor probably did jeweling or jeweled. How many vests do you own? Any cool rare ones? Not many vests. I still have one from my previous job. Do you have any deal trophies? I have many deal trophies. I have 5 deal trophies. Characteristics of the worst candidate you've interviewed. I think for me, this is more of a personal thing. People just that have their answers fully memorized and it's like they're reading off a paper. Like you ask them like, hey, like what makes you happy? And they're like, the thing that makes me happy is blah, 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 blah. Like just have a conversation. I think like people just fail to recognize once you get over the burden or the barrier of the resume drop, the interviews are all about how do I get this person to acknowledge that I am a fun person to be around and someone that's going to work hard. Like most jobs, you can learn on the job. They're not hiring someone that's like insane technical ability. It's more about like, are you normal? And I think that doesn't come across very well if you do a written down, fully memorized answer. And like, I don't understand how that's not a given. I know that's hard for people to do that, but I think it's just important to do that. Can you tell us more about the startup you work for? Not really. And your experience in tech. I have not much experience in tech aside from studying comp sci in college and doing tech right now. Where do you think Rutgers stands in compared to other non-target schools for IB? I know nothing about Rutgers. And apparently, according to my last video, the people were not very happy about it. I don't know much about target schools. My definition of target school just meant schools that companies reserve spots for. and guarantee spots for their students specifically. But Max, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Rutgers. Patagucci. I actually don't have any Patagonia vests. I have Patagonia pullovers, but I don't have Patagonia vests. Do you like crazy chicks? What's the crazy chick you dated? Crazy stories. Oh my gosh, motivational insights. You got all the fiery questions today. I think I might dodge that question in an attempt to be careful here. I don't know what you mean by crazy. I don't. I go back and forth in. Let me swerve your question and answer it a different way. I go back and forth in thinking about whether or not people actually have types or not. I don't know if people like actually have something that they're like people that are actually into, like a type of person they're into, or it's more of like the moment that creates the vibe, and then in hindsight, there's some level of confirmation bias that you make it seem like there is a type that aligns with all the people that you happen to like, and you find patterns within them. Opinion on double majoring in finance and comp sci, probably the best combination ever. The two moneymakers and probably the two longest lasting moneymakers, and perhaps the only lasting moneymakers in eventual human history. If you can do both, you're the GOAT. Do it if you want a burrito. Do you have a type? I don't think so. In reflection of all the girls that I have liked / I have gone out with, I don't think there's any unifying theme whatsoever across the board. What is everyday attire like for Goldman, or if you don't know, then for IB in your experience? At my firm, it was like business casual, so button up and then slacks and then dress shoes. But I know some firms are getting rid of that too. Would you rather have a major in finance and minor in data science, or double major in MIS? I don't know what MIS is, but I would say none of the above. I don't really like data science, and I don't think a major in finance sounds fun. How was dating during your IB days? Non-existent, Keith Lee. There was nothing. What's the most expensive casual and formal clothing item you own? Wow, motivational insights. Are you an algorithm? Like, where are these questions coming from? I don't have that many expensive clothes. I have like, yeah, I don't know any. I don't even know clothes enough to like know stuff off the top of my head. Do you have any friends who are quant and it's hard to become one? Yeah, I have a couple. Very hard. You have to be a genius. I know some of the smartest people in my life that fail to become a quant because it was so hard. When was the last time you wore a tie? Wow, great question, dude. It must have been like at least a year. Actually, I wore some when I was interviewing to leave banking. So I guess 6 months. Management information systems. Okay. What do you think about Oxfords versus Brock shoes? Are Brocks too flashy? Motivational insights. Sorry, I don't really know these terms. I don't really know stuff about clothes very well. I'm sorry. Did you wear ties during your interview? I did. Usamo icons. I don't know what that means. Wow, so many diverse questions today. Feeling a little tired, and my neck is dying, but I will keep going. Retail banking. Sorry, Trevor. I don't know anything besides investment banking. I don't know retail banking. I don't know commercial banking very well. Brogue shoes have holes on the uppers. How do you stay fit during? How do you stay fit during banking consulting? You just gotta make time, my dude. You just gotta cut time in the morning, cut time in the afternoon. Like force yourself to do it. Say that this deck can wait 50 minutes and just like go get a quick pump in. But it's very hard because you have very late nights. You eat delivery food all the time. You would rather spend the time you work out sleep. It is hard. It is hard to stay fit. I think I probably gained 20 pounds during banking. Any tips on your hairstyle? I don't really have a hairstyle. It's just like whatever I wake up with. I don't groom it. I don't really style it. I never use product. I'm sorry. I don't really have like I don't even know how to brush. I don't even brush my hair. What would you say to someone that completed their summer internship for IB virtual but will be full time in the office? Any time advice for in person? I don't think it's that drastically different. Just get ready for like people coming to your desk and asking you to do stuff as opposed to zooming you or slacking you, which might be a bit more annoying. What pair of hair products do you use? I use zero hair products. What other firms did you interview with when you were exiting IB? What was your thought process like? I interviewed with a variety of stuff. What did you value most? I would say probably work-life balance and location. Do you think COVID has changed the status quo of being an investment banker? Can you expand on that, Kyle? What do you mean by status quo? I think COVID has definitely changed being an investment banker in general. I think people are more careful and people are thinking a lot about like, what does this actually mean? I think people in general about careers have changed through banking. But can you expand on status quo is I think, an interesting word to describe, I think, what you're trying to ask. Um, what startup would you like to work for if you could? Clubhouse. I really want to work for Clubhouse, but I don't really know how they're doing anymore because like Twitter and Facebook are taking them over, and I heard the demand is super down. But Clubhouse sounds fascinating. Fave food for you? Lately, I've been really into burgers. I never thought the day would come, but I like anything. Like I like McDonald's, I like Al Cheval. Like I can't wait to eat a burger this weekend, 4th of July. Like I freaking love burgers. Can you give some advice on how to get a high GPA at a smaller art school like WNL? I think it's just like any other school, right? Just study, go to office hours, have good repertoire with your professors, take classes that you're good at, take classes that you like. If just, I think studying is pretty uniform across the board. Yeah. Where are you currently located? I am in Chicago, Illinois. Have you gone out of patios after this lockdown? How much did menu prices rise in your area? Yeah, I've gone to patios a lot. Menu prices, I don't think menu prices have definitely gone down or gone up, but it's more of like this like COVID surcharge, benefit surcharge, all these surcharges that are just like, just because it's COVID, and restaurants are just taking, and I think it's part of it is because like it's harder to employ people now because people aren't really taking waiter jobs and they're asking for more money. Inflation, guys, I can't stress it enough. You put more money into the economy, you incentivize people to work less, then prices are going to go up, and then it's just going to be a cycle over and over again, and it's not going to fix anything. Were you when you were an undergrad? Did you do any programs like Goldman Sachs Virtual Insight Series? And which programs did you like the most? Not really. I did JP Morgan Early Advantage. It was fine. What are your thoughts on PE right out of college? If it's possible, why not? If that's like really what you want to do, banking experience really a must. I think it's because so many people in PE have banking experience that they kind of look at you differently if you don't have banking experience. It's one of those things where it's like we've always done it this way, so you should do it this way, rather than like a must. But I think 2 years of banking like gives you the mentality and the skill set that you need to do well in PE. Lowell, love it. Heading out. This was a fun time. Great. Bye, Daniel. View on market crash coming soon. I mean, everyone says there's gonna be a market crash. There's a market crash, and there seems to be no slowdown. I'm sure there will be some kind of crash. I don't know if it's a crash, but there has to be a downturn sometime, right? But I don't know how drastic it will be. I'm just a firm believer that it always recovers. So I don't know. We shall see. What type of surcharge do you incur each time you go out? Yeah, like every time, literally every restaurant in Chicago has this like COVID surcharge or like benefit surcharge that like you can't even ask what it is. It is just what it is. And sometimes they say like it pays for the benefits or like medical related stuff for the employees. And like to each their own. And like I respect that, but I think some of it is just to make more money is the vibe that I'm getting. How high of an emphasis do you place on the view from your floor? I'm on the 21st floor. It's pretty damn nice. I think having the right floor is great. I think in the city, especially like city views, you want high floors, you know? Coughing like an old man today. Internet at P company last summer was wondering how you, Jude, answering any questions related to why switch from P to IB. You think about like security. Dry powder is limited. There's so much saturation in the PE market, but there's always going to be IB deals. If you're interested more in advisory rather than managing a fund, there's a whole array of things why people go to IB from PE. When picking a candidate, higher GPA, good internships, but super fun to talk to. Versus. I mean, that's hard because if you have a lower GPA, less internships, you're probably not going to make the cut to get to the interview. But if you made it to the interview, then probably super fun to talk to. Why don't you drink coffee? Because I used to be kind of addicted to it in college, and I don't like being dependent on things. And I used to drink like 6 cups a day, and now I'm just like I don't really need it. And I kind of like the fact that I don't drink it. It's a cost saver, and I kind of like saying like I don't drink coffee, but I did banking and now I work at a startup and I still don't drink coffee. It's like a weird, stupid flex. Do you have a number, like the amount of money you'll like to make during your lifetime? $1 billion. I have jokingly say that, but also like for me, if I'm going to go for it, I might as well go for the top. When does full-time recruiting usually start? There's phases. There's like fall recruiting and spring recruiting, but typically there's no more like full-time recruiting. It's more about like summer recruiting, which is basically full-time recruiting. How did you do coffee chats? Did you just order orange juice or something? Do people actually drink coffee at coffee chats? I think coffee chats is more of a proper noun, right? We just talked over the phone or talked over Zoom or talked in person at like a career services center, and it wasn't really over coffee. Do people look at you weird? No. I've never had a coffee chat where actual coffee was involved. That's a great question. Do people actually drink coffee at coffee chats? Like, do people actually meet for coffee chats? I've never really had a coffee chat where people were drinking coffee. It's typically like a networking event or like a one-on-one discussion at my career services center or over the phone, and we called it a coffee chat. But I'd never had coffee at a coffee chat. We usually actually meet at a cafe and order coffee. Oh, really? I guess I'm just weird. I guess I'm just. Our coffee chats were very like, here's a MD coming in to our school. Sign up for a session to talk to him. You signed up and you went in and then you just talked. It wasn't like an official coffee drinking chat. Um, oh, coffee chats with people at your. Okay, okay. Yes, we like went to like the Pret or the Starbucks, I think, but I just drank water or like didn't drink at all. And people knew that I didn't like from why they knew I didn't drink coffee. So, um, um, if you were to go back, would you rather do BB or Elite Boutique? I think I kind of want to try the BB experience just for scale. Like I want to know what it feels like to be at a big firm. Um, just based on scale, just based on size. What advice do you have about networking for interns? Like, are you an intern right now, or are you saying like you're going to become an intern? Do you drink alcohol? I do drink alcohol. I wouldn't say like I'm like obsessed with alcohol, but I do drink alcohol for a good time. Um, Glad to have made it to my first ever Brian John live stream. Whoa, how did you like tag me in that red orange thing like that, Vincent? That's kind of cool. Thanks for joining for the first time. We're just talking about a wide variety. Right now, we're just talking about me not drinking coffee. But hey, guys, thanks for joining. I am like weirdly feeling under the weather. So I might not make it the full hour today, but I will continue to go as soon as long as I can last. I promise it's not COVID. I just weird cough. Does investment banking make you feel obsessed with checking your phone? Oh yes. I have PTSD from that. I check my phone like no other, and I probably need to get off of it. And I realize like it's not everyone does that, and it's not necessarily a product of our culture, but it's just me having residue from banking. Banking's given me a lot of bad habits that I think I need to stop. Gonna do a 6-month internship at Goldman. So advice on networking across the firm for that. I didn't really network really during my internship. In hindsight, I probably should have. Try to schedule like a meeting a day, a coffee chat, I guess, according to the people. And maybe keep like a tracker to see what conversations you've been having, who you like talking to, things like that. Hope you feel better soon, bro. Yeah, thanks. How do you land your current job? They reached out to me directly on LinkedIn, and then I started interviewing. Do you text girls you're flirting with back right away? I text most people right away. I don't play this like long response game that people play. I don't think I've ever really played that even in like elementary school. Um, do you ever consider pursuing a career in quant finance? I don't think I'm smart enough for quant. You need like an insane math background and maybe even a comp sci background, which I neither have. Um, Scrunch or fold? Is it bad that I don't know what that is? Do the girls text back right away too? I mean, not everyone texts back right away. That's not just limited to girls, but people in general. But I'm just someone that like, for me, when I receive a text, it's like a to do item. Like I need to get it over with. So like I need to just like send it because I hate having that like unread thing. Sorry guys, I am literally being so meta, and I'm replying to a text as we speak. What do you do for fun? This, Jovi, as sad as this is, like this, I like literally, I go on YouTube, I make videos, and I do live streams, and like I interact with people like this. This is what I do for fun. If I could have fun forever, I would literally do a live stream 24/7. Like if my neck allowed it, and if my eyes allowed it, and if my energy allowed it, and if there was a way to make money off of it, this is what I would do for 24/7. That's a great question. What do I do for fun? What you're looking at right now? Yeah, like you can't see any red notifications anywhere on your phone screen. Yeah, I have zero notification like unopened notifications on my phone right now. My inbox is zero for all email accounts always. If you were still in IB and could choose an industry coverage, what would it be and why? I would probably still stick with business services. I really like business services. Um, Is it possible to land an IB internship without majoring in finance and accounting? Yes. I've seen plenty of people do it. What do you think about anonymous posting on Wall Street Oasis? I've never posted on Wall Street Oasis. I just don't know that community very well. What's your desk setup for like work from home? How do you position your monitor, etc? So I have my computer, like my main MacBook, dead center to me, and I usually close it when I'm not using my webcam. Then I have two monitors facing me, and then I have this ring light that makes me look prettier, and then I have a separate keyboard and a separate mouse attached to the computer that I kind of sit back and do it. I have a pretty bad back, so I have a nice chair here and I have a great chair back home. Are your monitors the same size? Yeah, I have like 20 something inch monitors from HP. They're both the exact same. I wish I had like a removable webcam so I could detach and show it to you guys, but I have a pretty decent work from home setup, and my one at home is pretty nice too. I am looking forward to like when I'm going back to California and I eventually get my own place. Like I'm gonna deck out. Like that's one of my ideals that I've never really fully pursued, but I really want. Even during high school, I didn't really have like a crazy desk setup, but like once I go home, I'm really gonna deck it out. Do you learn Excel in college? Not really. I knew Excel back in high school. Both HP, yeah. What traits do you want in your next condo house? I actually don't want a high rise. I want to live on the ground. I want to live near the beach. And I also want it to be flat. I don't want it to be 2 floors. I want it to be flat. I want a big living room, and I want floor to ceiling windows. But a man can only dream. I'm thinking of buying a bear skin rug. Motivational insights. I'm very curious who you are. You have very interesting thoughts and continuous thoughts. What's your salary like in tech? It's decent, comparable to banking. And then buying an upside down bear glass table. Motivational insights. I'm very curious who you are and what kind of person you are. You have very interesting, funny thoughts. I'll kind of go off topic. One thing that I said I want to work for Clubhouse earlier. Like I wish Clubhouse was still a thing. I really liked Clubhouse. Like that was the most fun I've had in a while. Like the first few weeks of February, if you guys remember when like Clubhouse was the biggest thing, like I was living. Like that was super fun. But now the application's dead and no one's on it anymore from what I've heard. And that's very sad. I wish it was back in the day where like everyone was on it 24/7 and there's always new people to talk to. But I've heard that it's just no longer the case, and like I'm scared to go back into it because it's gonna make me sad, you know. But I've just heard that it's not happening anymore. I know it's dead. That's so sad. Do you still talk to your colleagues in banking? Yeah, I actually ran into one 2 days ago. I don't want to say I actively talk. There's some that still keep in touch and some that ask me about like tech and like their next moves. But I left banking in a very happy light, and everyone there I would still consider to be my close friends, or not close, like great colleagues. And I actually today I wrote an article on my blog brianjohn.com, brianjohn.com, about can coworkers be friends, and I talked about this. Are you on Twitter? I used to be, but I deleted it after it got toxic in high school. I'm only on Instagram. I don't have Snapchat anymore. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. And then I have a blog, brianjohn.com. Join crypto Twitter, bruh. I'm okay. It seems a little too much for me. LMM versus LUMM. So many acronyms. I don't know. How many people from high school do you keep in touch with? A surprising amount. College, a lot. Percentage wise, I would say like 10% high school, 60% college, 70% frat. Do you get annoyed answering the same IB recruitment questions over and over again? Yes. What would you recommend an incoming sophomore for an internship next summer? So you're going to be a sophomore, so you're internship after summer. It depends on what you want to do, right? I would still try to do something cool, something that you actually want to do, but it gives you some little professional experience that you could talk to for your junior level internship, which probably is the thing that matters the most. What's your haircut called? I don't know. The generic 23-year-old perm that is not a perm. If you don't snap, how do you talk to chicks? My 2021, one of my resolutions was not to be on Snapchat, so I haven't been on Snapchat since December 31st, 2020. How do I talk to chicks? I guess the answer is I don't talk to chicks. What do you think about asset servicing, custodian banking? I know nothing about it. Sorry, motivational insights. Haircut's called the middle part. Yeah, it's like a side part, 70% side part. Um, yeah, I don't really have a hairstyle. I've had all sorts of hairstyles. I've had it really short. I've had it really long. I have it like the way that I am now. I've had it permed. Um, I've had it. I've had like I've had it tied before, but I don't think I had a consistent hairstyle ever. Um, what do you think about Generation Z calling middle parts a boomer? I guess I'm a boomer. I'm old school. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Um, my head's pretty big, so I don't know what haircut suits me best. I kind of want to grow it out as long as I can and see where it goes. It's getting a little hot, though, I will say, and harder to take care of, but I don't really care about my looks lately, so it is what it is. Do you use Wall Street Oasis? Not really. I went on it briefly for fun. How do you explain why Lincoln? I don't know if I should answer that on this platform. It's lit. It's lit. The Zoomers clown your hairstyle all day on TikTok. Sorry, Zoomers. I'm a boomer. What can I say? If I wanted to get into IB, what would be a valuable sophomore internship? Grant, given that I worked at a nonprofit and served at a Japanese restaurant at night, you can really do anything. But if you really want to do it, like do a finance internship or maybe like a smaller private equity shop. How do you feel about almost turning 25? I'm not even 24 yet, but I feel relatively old. I've been feeling that a lot, but I'm trying to live younger. But I think I'm slowly hitting the age where I should be more mature. But I hate being mature. You actually are the best, and if anything, a taper with a comb over would look awesome. I don't even know what those terms mean, but I will look into it. I'm just not one for hairstyling. Do you play any video games? I play Tetris. I used to play League when I was in high school, and I was very bad at it. And most of the people that I played with were not very future focused people. So I stopped playing it because I realized the toxic nature of that crowd. I just graduated. I'm in the same spot as you. What are you saving for? Saving like money for? Probably a house. This is just car, marriage house. Just car. Are you not with the times? Ha ha ha. I think I'm like weirdly with the times in terms of like information. I'm always like one in the group where people are like, "How do you even know that?" I know very like overall general facts about everything, but I'm also someone that's just not very detailed into many things. I say I'm old school because I think my values are old school, but I don't think like things I'm interested in or trends are old school. Do you wear cologne? I don't. I don't even put on deodorant, and I smell fine. Genetics. Sleeping schedule and banking versus sleeping schedule right now. Sleeping schedule and banking. Probably slept at like 1 just in case. Woke up at like 7 with anxiety. Nowadays I sleep at 12 and I wake up at 7 to work out. Do you work from home or in the office? I work from home. Which do you prefer? I think there's pros and cons to both. I know for a fact if I start working in person, I'm gonna want to work from home. But right now, because I'm working from home, I wish I was in person. Timo said cringe. What is cringe? Where do you get your news from? Mostly Reddit and my friends sending me links. Do you have a Bloomberg news subscription? I don't. I don't have any news subscriptions. I actually don't have any subscriptions in general. The only thing I pay for is Apple Music. Moving to different offices at a BB. I don't know what that means. Do you mean like geographically? Is that a question or is that a statement? In your personal experience, what makes a good analyst and a great one? Good analyst, you can listen to directions. Great, great analyst, you know what directions are coming and you do it before you're given the directions. How invested are you in the stock market? Pretty damn invested. I would say 70 to 80% of my total assets are invested in stocks. Do you daily trade? No, it's more of a long term play. What's your job now? Work for a startup. What was your favorite coffee order when you used to drink coffee? Just straight black, cold brew. So cold ice black coffee. I don't like sugar or cream or anything. I just like it straight. Would you become a software engineer if you could start over? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't not consider it. I think it. I enjoyed coding. I was like actually surprisingly good at coding. It's always an open route. I might, take classes in the future maybe. But if I could start over, would I like for sure be a software engineer? I don't know about that. I kind of want to be in product. I've heard there's bad things about software engineering. I think my personality is not really suitable for being a software engineer, but who knows? Maybe I'll take a boot camp or something. Do you feel like Reddit has deteriorated? Too many idiot socialists. Yeah, I think Reddit has a certain crowd that is geared a certain way that makes you think that the whole world is like that when in reality not much of the world thinks like that. Live young, disregard the age, unless otherwise. Yeah, I think it's important to live young, but you also have to be real with yourself and be realistic and not um and don't get carried away with trying to be young when you're old. We need to be aware of how old we are. Bulge bracket moving to different offices and positions. Yeah, I know what BB is, Adora. I just don't know what the question is there. So many good comments on Reddit get downvoted by the normies. How long did you wake up? How did you wake yourself up in the morning on long work days? I just the anxiety woke me up. I mean, it's just like an inherent thing. You're just overridden with the Outlook emails that you know you're gonna wake up to. You're like, holy shit, I need to wake up. What was your favorite deal being an analyst at your bank? I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about deals. I I thoroughly didn't like, and I thoroughly liked all of them. Reddit nowadays hates bankers and anyone rich. I think world historically people didn't like bankers and people didn't like the rich. It's just like a human quality slash media play that people do. Like you can make a post saying that you make over 100K and you'll get down for 2 billion. Yeah, unless you make that money off GameStop or crypto. How do you feel about the Zoomers hating capitalism and wanting socialism? They're just dumb and they have been brainwashed and they have no idea what they're talking about. Any tips on saving money? I don't really budget, but I also actively don't pay for anything I don't need to. I rarely go out on weekdays. I don't buy coffee. Um, I don't over tip. I don't volunteer to buy drinks. And like this sounds like I think cheap behavior, but I think it's more aware behavior. And you can get carried away when you're out, especially when you're 20 something and spend money in places you don't need to. I think if you're very active about spending less, it becomes a habit, and then you actively save or you passively save. How did you cope with anxiety? I don't think I really did very well. I think it just constantly hit me, and then after a while, I realized it was a thing that was staying, something that was so highly associated with the job, and something that I didn't really want to be a part of. So I don't know if I coped with it very well. How much did you pay in taxes last year? I don't know. We have a family CPA. I have no idea. What do you spend money on then? Really nothing. I only spend money on food. I don't buy clothes. And travel. I love experiencing. Um, don't leave Chicago. I know Chicago's the best city. I genuinely believe that. My video this week, guys, is me talking about how Chicago is the best city. I don't want to leave, but Alexis, I'm sorry. I have obligations elsewhere. Tips on eating healthy as an investment banking summer analyst. It's hard, dude. I mean, maybe as a summer analyst, they take you out into nice places. You have more flexibility, but when you're full time, you got to deliver. You got to sit on your butt and bring in takeout food. How do you organize your Chrome bookmarks? Let me read it out to you right now. So I have a career consulting tab where I keep track of my tracker that I do with you guys. I have a company folder for links and cool sheets and stuff. I have a housing folder that I'm looking into housing for LA. I have my website, Brian John, as a shortcut. Then I have a money folder where I keep track of my net worth and stuff. And then I have a meal planning daily, like macro counter Excel. What are some underrated Chicago foods? Ooh, I would check out the McDonald's headquarters place that has like international stuff. I also think like hole in the wall, like Asian food and stuff like that is also underrated. And most food in Chicago is pretty decent. Any thoughts about coming down to Los Angeles? That's what I'm doing. My eventual move, Saints, is to go to Los Angeles. Like, how would one approach mobility at a firm moving to different offices at a BB? Oh, I've never done that personally, but I would assume you talk to HR and say like why you need to make that move. But make sure that you have high credibility, high good reputation to begin with. Did you have to go to compliance officers in order to buy stock while on IB? Not officers directly, but we had a portal that you had to report every time before you made a transaction. It was kind of annoying. You seem to be a very minimalist lifestyle. Yeah, Jerry, I'm very minimalist. You see, like there's nothing in my room. I don't buy over clothes. My ideal would be wearing the same clothes every day. I wish I was Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. I don't carry anything. Like I have very low overhead costs. How many days off in a year as an IB analyst? 10 work days. Strangest question you've gotten in career consulting. I don't really. People are very respectful and they ask, like they're very to the point. I mean, they're paying for it, so they want to get what they signed up for. I don't really get weird questions. It's mostly just like, how do I get this job? Like, what do you recommend? Um, housing folder. What do you bookmark in there? It's just listings of like apartments and houses. Giordano's Illuminati. Oh, Giordano's hands down. So many people are leaving that opportunities are opening up. Yeah, I think that's like just like across the board. not just in banking, but just in any role. I think people are just mass quitting jobs in general. So there's so many jobs open, which makes me not worried about finding employment in the worst case scenarios. Do you think you have a strong LinkedIn profile? Not really. I think LinkedIn is kind of dumb. I don't really know if LinkedIn is really an essential part of careers. I think it's more of like a weird flex kind of thing. I cringe at all those like I want to thank blah 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 for my opportunity here. Like that's just like a Instagram post. Money folder. How do you track your net worth across your different assets custodians? I use Mint on my phone and then I use an Excel, like a Google sheet, literally manually punching in my assets. Why did you join IB? Because it was kind of easy to do so during my college career, and my career services overly recommended it. Meal planning folder. What are you bookmarking there? No, it's just an Excel sheet of what I'm eating for the day. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Southern California. What do you value most in life? Oh, I value family, friends, people. All right, guys, that's all the time I have for today. Thanks for joining. I'm going to be doing a little last minute um, promotion for all my stuff, as I always do. The only time because I don't like promoting during my YouTube videos, but go check out brianjun.com for my thoughts and my open thought provocations. brianjun.com for my blog. New video every Saturday, as usual. This Saturday, I'm covering why Chicago is the greatest city ever. Live stream every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. I am doing career consulting still. Sign up using the link below for 30-minute sessions, one-on-one Zoom with yours truly. And then I'm working on a couple fun stuff and podcast stuff with my friends that will come out in the future. But rest assured, I'll be back. And Burrito Tacos, one last answer to your question. What's your pet peeve? I have a article on my blog, brianjun.com, on my pet peeves. Thanks, guys, for joining, and I will see you guys next time.